Happy hump day, honey. I am back from vacacion. I am bronzed. My husband and I got it in. Let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. So I've been thinking about for a while, do I want another kid? I'm 41. I have two beautiful children that I love so much, and they fill my life up with so much joy and dread. But no, seriously, I'm obsessed with them. They're my life. I'm like, do I want to add one more to the mix? I am a third child. My husband is a third child. And if I'm gonna do it, as the door closes on my ovaries and them being capable to produce another. And let me tell you, I put a pin in it this weekend, okay? I traveled with my two kids, and they're at the age where they're doing great. My son got up and dressed himself. My daughter's telling me when she needs to go to the bathroom. They tell me when they're hungry. But still, at 3 and 6, almost 4 and 6, it's still a pain in the ass. Okay? And I'm just like, nope. And I'm watching these moms come down the plane, be at the carousel, going to the hotel with the babies and just going, that looks absolutely awful. That ship has sailed. The ship has sailed. And I'm like, you know what? I feel good with my decision. I can sit back with my glass of champagne, fabulous sunglasses on, just waving at the ship as it sails on by of having more children. Bye, fuckers. Sorry. Okay? I'm just like, you know, what kind of quality of life would I have? And it's just, I would be so focused on this baby. I would be so stressed out. I'd probably be screaming and losing my mind at the other two. It's just too stressful. Let's light a candle. R.I.P. to the ovaries. Bye-bye, girls. Thank you so much. You did great. But you're out of here. Where did we go? We went to Cancun for my mother's 70th, and we went into an all-inclusive resort. I don't know about you, but all-inclusives are not for me. The food was good. The drinks were good, but it's just too much debauchery. And all that debauchery brings a crowd that is not very sophisticated. It's not for me. I'm more of a boutique girl than a big box girl. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not into the cattle. I'm into the lane over there that's like no one goes down. You know what's crazy? My son was so confused because we were an all-inclusive resort. And what do? You don't want to leave. You've already paid for everything. You have drinks here. We have food here. Why go anywhere? My son kept going, are we in Palm Springs? And I'm like, you would think that because we just traveled all this way to sit in a pool that everyone here is paying in, including me. How do you feel about that? I know I'm talking about how it's not sophisticated, and then I pee in pools. You know, and a girl owned it. She had a baseball hat on at the pool and said, I pee in pools. And then I started looking around at all the ladies. Not any of the ladies got out once to go to the bathroom. We all peeing in this pool. Champagne taste on a beer type attitude. That's what we give here at Dear Juju. I'm just keeping it real. And it smelled so hard of chlorine. I'm like, anything that we're doing in here is just, it's getting chemically eradicated anyways. I stand by my choice. So on the way down to Mexico, I binged Hollywood House Lift with Jeff Lewis. Do you love him? This is something that's kind of a reoccurring theme, okay? I get really obsessed and into gay men. And it's really odd because then I start to see them as like a father figure, clearly replacing them with my gay father. One time when I first moved out to Hollywood, I said, my name's Julianne Waters. And they said, oh, any relation to John Waters? And I was like, no. And then I was like, John Waters, who's that? And then I Googled it and went on a total binge of all John Waters, who has an exhibit at LACMA here now. All of his films, he's a director. He is the Pope of trash is what he calls himself, which I absolutely love. And he's a genius. He creates worlds. He Crybaby, Jaleo, Hairspray, like all of these amazing films. So I pretended like he was my dad for a little while. And then Tom Ford, I have a gay crush on Tom Ford. Obsessed with him. I love the Schiaparelli designer now. He's from Texas and gay, I think. And I love him. Jeff Lewis is also another one. I'm trying to manifest being his friend, okay? If you've not watched Hollywood House Lift on Amazon Prime, go do it. He's so fun. He is so sassy. I'm obsessed with him. He's so like rich and in control that I'm just like, yeah, that it. Now, moving on to something I don't usually talk about a lot, which is pop culture. Hawk Tuah girl. Love that. You know me. I love a funny joke, or she was keeping it real on a sexualness. So I am a fan of the Hawk Tuah girl. But Joseph Hudak, yeah, I know you don't know him. He is the one who wrote the article for Rolling Stones. He said, and I quote, "The Hawk Tuah girl is this generation's Dolly Parton. Joseph Hudak, or however you pronounce your name, I give a big fuck you. Don't you dare compare a talented, world-creating singer, songwriter, performer. Dolly Parton created a whole world of her image, becoming an icon. She also ghost wrote for Whitney Houston, Tina Turner, Merle Haggard. Comparing something that someone says on the cuff to a star who's created an image, who has talent, who has put that talent to the test time and time and time and time and time again, that is what's wrong with the world today. Not the Hawk Tuah girl. She's the bomb. I love you. Get your 20 minutes of fame. It's you, Joseph, who wrote for the Rolling Stones. No, no, no. We're not doing that. We're not comparing Hawk Tuah girl to Dolly Parton. Woo! Can you tell how upset this makes me? That's like basically having your children draw you a stick figure and you think it's fucking Picasso. Shame on you. Woo! That got spicy for a second. Think I'm gonna start my period. Don't fuck with me today, kids. She's the one. Okay, and last but not least, oh my God, the funnest night of my life I had on this vacation. I was sitting around my family. My brother and sister really get my sense of humor, okay? And their spouses get it as well, and their kids, because they know what they're dealing with here. My mom kind of tolerates it. She's a fan of it. She understands it, but it's not really in her wheelhouse. I like to say things that are shocking. So my niece brought like almost her fiance for us to meet. It's very serious. They think they're going to get married, but this is the first time that the family's met him. And I said, "Do you want some relationship advice from dear Juju?" The whole table looked at me like, oh Lord, what's about to happen? And I said, "Listen to my niece, meet him at the door every once in a while." This is for you too, take notes. "With a beer and a blowjob." Why? The element of surprise. That's what's fun in a relationship. Put the pillow on the floor, get down, and go to town. That is for you, my niece. And then I said to my soon-to-be niece's husband, hopefully, if they work out, I said, "And you do the same thing. Meet her at the door every once in a while with a Cosmo and a clit job." My mother says the funniest thing whenever she's just like, "Juju, you're going too far." She's like, "Julie Ann." And I'm like, what? I'm telling them how to keep this relationship. Actually, you know what? Someone give me a microphone. I'll tell this whole place. And then the more like uncomfortable, like my brother kind of got a little uncomfortable. My mom kind of got a little uncomfortable. I just kept going. I laugh the hardest when you're not supposed to laugh. It tickles my funny bone. Period. I was crying at the table. I was the only one. And my family was like, okay. When I started masturbating, I went to school and I asked all my girlfriends and I said, "Are you guys masturbating? Did you know that you could touch yourself and it feels really good and there's nerves down there?" And they were looking at me like, oh. And then I started laughing because I saw how uncomfortable they were and it just cracked me up. Oh, I don't know. Just situations like that tickle my funny bone. Silly, sexual, and doesn't always have to be sexual. Silly and shocking is always the one for me. It gets my goat. It just gets my goat. All right, and with that, let's get into some domestic goddessness, shall we? Cooking. 'Tis the season for guacamole. Actually, after this, I'm going to go to the store and get some ripe avocados today because I had the best guac. And let me tell you, my secret is actually the secret in Mexico too. Ready? Take your white onion, your jalapeno, seedless if you'd prefer, a shallot, and garlic. Okay, dice those up as small as you can. Put them all in a bowl. Put some salt and lemon juice on them. Now, what that's going to do, like ceviche, is basically cook it. It's going to kind of break down the fibers a little bit, and then I pound it out. And I let that sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, and I keep tossing it. That way you get a little bit of liquid, right? So in the lime juice, you get the garlic, you get the onion, you get the jalapeno. It kind of seeps into the juice. So then when you throw in the tomatoes, you can let it sit for another 10 minutes, kind of macerate in that juice and salt. Then the avocado is the last thing to go. Now, the really important thing that I think sends it to the next level is lime zest. I like a really zingy and limey guacamole. So having it be citrus forward with that lime zest is, I do the zest of 3 limes. It is so good. Let me tell you something else. On a health note, every freaking chip has sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, grapeseed, all of those oils, canola oil, are caca. They're bad for you. They're bad for your hormones. They make you gain weight. If you can, I know it's annoying and it's expensive, go to a specialty store like Sprouts or Whole Foods and get the chips that are made with avocado oil. Okay? I know it's specific. I know it's to spend a little bit more money, but your health will thank you. And honestly, it's a better chip. Got a better crisp to it, in my opinion. Cocktails. Do you know what I love in the summertime is a shanty? Now, a shanty is beer and lemonade mixed. It's so divine. Now, let me tell you, so you are at the pool or you're hanging out all day. You want something that's refreshing and that's also going to give you a little buzz, but not make you pass out and then not be able to do the nighttime routine. One day I drank champagne and then I ended up taking a nap and then just not feeling it at night. And I was like, well, that was no fun. So then the next day I had a summer shanty, which is lemon juice or sparkling lemonade with a beer. And it was perfect. It was refreshing. It tasted good. The first time I actually had this, the Parker in Palm Springs, which is my favorite hotel ever in life, I always order a summer shanty there. I'm like, give me beer, give me lemonade. Let me drink by the pool and just tan. So if you haven't had a summer shanty, you should make one or make one for your next summer soiree. They are so much fun. Decor. Bathtub in a bedroom. Okay. Yay or nay? We went to our hotel room and I opened the door and there was a bathtub in the bedroom. I am obsessed with bathtubs, okay? I want a whole room, if I could design my perfect house, that is just a bathtub room. That's just like a spa that has a vanity, a place to get ready, a shower, a tub, something that feels very luxurious, maybe with a chaise so I can relax afterwards because sometimes I make my bath so hot. I'm obsessed with like a bathtub room. And I always told my husband I want it to be right off the bedroom. That's until I went to this hotel room and there was a bathtub in the room, which I was like, in the room, not in the bathroom, in the bedroom. Okay. My husband was like, oh, this is what you've always wanted. And I was like, but is it? I don't know if this is done right. It was just in the corner. It was all tile floors. My kids gone in it, had so much fun, splashed around, and it was a damn, break your neck zone, if you will. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. This is a little too close to the bed. Put up a pony wall, put up some kind of room divider, slats or something. Like put something up where it just doesn't feel like you dumped a tub in the corner. You think it's really elegant and special until you have it, and then you're like, this is just trash. And with that, let's get into some Q&A with some TNA. Baby. I have really great questions. You guys have been submitting. This week, I picked some good ones. We did not disappoint. Dear Juju, I'm a late 30s mom of 3 who's struggling to get back to my pre-baby weight. No matter what I do, I can't lose the last 10 to 15 pounds. All my friends are getting on those weight loss drugs. I can't help but feel like it's cheating, and I'm nervous about the unwanted side effects of a brand new class of drugs. Thoughts? We all know someone who's done taking the Stabadoo on the Ozempic, or now you can get it at like the IV place. I wish I could help you. I am honestly thinking this same thought. Here's the thing. If you are to a place that is in serious need of this drug, get on it. period. I saw a lot of people this weekend who needed it. I have done research. Dr. Mark Hyman, however you say his name. I love him. He has a podcast as well that talks about health, that talks about weight loss, that talks about anti-aging from a health point. He's very 360 on health, on food, on aging and things like that. He had someone on who was talking about micro-dosing it. And I think the micro-dosing helps. So if you could get your blood sugar to a place where it's getting lowered, where you're getting the benefits, where you're in optimal health, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to take a gamble on. I'm 5'2" and I have 15 pounds to lose. It puts me in like an above average fat content category. Here's the thing. Do all that you can with willpower. And then if you need to get a little help, I say get a little help with a micro dosing. Okay. Is Botox cheating? Are fillers cheating? Is dyeing your hair cheating? Then is wearing a bra cheating? Is shaving cheating? You know what I mean? Like, is makeup cheating? Is like, where do you draw the line then if you're talking about cheating? I think what we have to do is reframe it from cheating to doing what's necessary to feel our best. I think we need to take it from a place of that it's a bad thing and making it an empowerment thing. And I think anytime you're doing little tiny changes for health, people say go for a walk after a meal. And that lowers your blood sugar and do all these things. Like just moving the needle a little bit leads to big impacts when we're talking about health, beauty, and anti-aging. So first, do all that you can, work out, eat right, have a cheat day in there every once in a while so you don't go off the rails. Take it where you can. Then if you still need a little bit of help, you can get the help that you need to feel your best. Side effects, we don't know. We don't know the side effects, right? That's the gamble that you're going to take. But maybe once you get down there, maybe you can wean yourself off it and maintain it. It's just something that you're going to have to then see how comfortable you are, try it, and see what works for you. At the end of the day, do what works for you, boo. Second question, Dear Juju, if you could live anywhere in the world and continue to do what you do and raise a family, where would you go and why? This is such a good question. I feel really at home with palm trees. Palm trees, I love LA. I love LA. I just do. And there's more to it than the Hollywood thing. It's very much a city with culture, with weather. I guess that's not asking me to go on about the city that I love, but I love the palm trees. I also love Lisbon. Lisbon is coming up in kind of a who's who moment, and that seems to have palm trees. It seems to have great weather, and it seems to also be a place that's very family-based, that's very cultured, and then a lot of people are moving there, so you can get that kind of city vibe. This is the thing that I love. I want to be able to tap my toe into an event or city pool when I feel like it. And this is what I love about LA. There are events here and there and here and there that I get invited to, and it's like, how fun. Let's get dressed up and let's go to an event. That's what kind of helps me stay tapped into a youth, right? Because if I was just at home and I was just a mom and not getting dressed up and going out every once in a while, it's only quarterly, okay? It's about 4 times a year. That's what keeps me energized. That's what keeps me out and about and in front of people, Living in a city kind of does that for you. So I would say Palm Springs, Lisbon, Australia. That's a little bit of a stretch for me. I would say Lisbon. Lisbon is an hour and a half, an hour flight from Spain. Let's see. Lisbon to Rome is a 3-hour flight. Flights from Lisbon to Paris, 2 hours and 30 minutes. So the time it takes me to go to Texas and see my family, I could be vacationing in Rome. I could be vacationing in Paris. I could give my kids a full experience of Europe. And I love Europe. It feels like home. It really does. I love Lisboa. I'm obsessed. LA or Lisbon. Oh my God, and they're both L's. Both L's, both palm trees. Who knows? No one knows what the future holds. Let's see. Okay, last question. Dear Juju, like you, I have 2 young kids. I love them both equally, of course, but one is incredibly sensitive and emotional, finds it hard to regulate. Oh my God, I feel you. And the other is basically a dream boat who can find their stride. I find it difficult to parent them in the same way because they're so different. I lose my cool with the more challenging one. How do I keep consistent and accountable with both kids without developing favoritism? Okay, this is exactly why I'm in parent therapy with Dr. Vanessa Lapointe. Let me tell you, there is a book that's really beautiful that you have to get called The Orchid and the Dandelion, How All Can Thrive, right? So when I have an extremely sensitive child as well, who fights me a little bit, who, is quick in higher emotions. It's the mixed emotions with the fighting that's really hard. They say no, and they just fight you all the time. And it's a bit exhausting. But you have to find within you. It's not about favoritism. It's not about parenting them different. It's about giving that one more slack because they have different needs and they need more of your love and they need more of your attention and they need more of your connection. My favorite thing that Dr. Vanessa has said, full credit to her, when connection is high, resistance is low. And then the opposite, when resistance is high, it's because connection is low. And that's what you have to think of when your orchid child or your one that's a little tougher is giving you a lot of angst and resistance. You have to be like, I need to connect with them. You need to lean into it harder. Have I ever taught you goldfish? Have you? What? Oh, you want to build a Hot Wheels track? What's your favorite lunch? You choose. Do you want hot dogs or do you want gyoza? What do you want? Your favorite lunch. Your turn to decide. Right? Like you empower them, you look at them in the eye, you get them one-on-one, you give them more connection. Because when connection is high, resistance is low. Okay? The other one can just bounce around all day. They're a dandelion. An orchid, as you can tell, I was gone for a week and I didn't give it the love and she kind of went down. An orchid is very specific. But if you figure out the way to water them and nurture them, they end up blooming brighter and longer and more beautiful and being more elegant and just more sophisticated. But you have to figure out the temperament of it. And that's the same way with your sensitive child. And the other one's a dandelion, which that thing can grow in cracks. You might find that your more sensitive child will give you more opportunities to become a better version of yourself. And if you can kind of switch that mentality, that is a good way to look at it, of like, they really give me every opportunity to try again. And they're going to give it to you. You know it. This other one is just fun and light and easy and great. So you almost don't have to worry about that. At least you don't have two orchids. You know what I mean? And this one, they are a mirror to show you what triggers you. And if you can really see it as a self-development thing of like, they give me the best opportunity to work on me. You have to show them how to regulate by co-regulation. You have to show them how to swim by getting in the water with them and going, look, watch my arms, look at my head, look at my feet. This is what we're doing. But like, you have to get in there with them. And the same thing with this co-regulation. You have to get down with them and go, I know. I'm here for you. I got you and I got me. And I'm not afraid of these big feelings, so go ahead and have them. And them go, wow, I have a strong leader that's not leading by screaming, that's not leading by force, that's not leading by threats, but that's leading by love, because that's a good leader. Good leader leads by love. And what you can do is show that love to yourself and show them how to co-regulate. The last thing that Dr. Vanessa said that I also loved is even the best parent-child relationship, they only get it right 30% of the time. And that's the best. I feel like a lot of people talk about the co-regulation, this part, but what they don't talk about is the repair. And that's something that I need to talk about a lot. And that's something that I talk about Dr. Vanessa a lot, is the repair side. When you do lose your cool, what you do is you take a breath, you get calm, and you just go, shit. But what you can do is say, I'm so sorry. I yelled. I'm going to work on it. I should not yell like that. But even mommy does something that she's not supposed to do. I'm not perfect either. And I'm sorry. And you don't deserve to be yelled at. Then instead of just talking at them, this is something that I did with my son over the trip because I lost it one time, which is pretty good, is I asked him, how does it make you feel when I just yelled at you? So that they can get it out on their side so that they're not harboring anything. And he kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, how did it make you feel when I yelled at you? And he kind of still looked at me, they have problems naming it. So I said, did it make you feel bad, sad, mad, scared? Did you not like it? Like what? And he was like, all of those. And I was like, okay, maybe just tell me one or two. And he was like, bad and sad. And I said, okay. And I said, I am so sorry. You don't deserve that. And I love you. And thank you for telling me that made you feel like that, And that way they feel validated, they feel heard, they feel seen, which I think is also really important. Repair, repair, repair when you slip up. And you're going to all the time. It's fine. 30%. Okay. So out of 10 times, if you only get 3 right, you're doing great. All right. That's it. I'm out. Don't forget that you're a star. Okay. It's not cheating. It's helping, honey. And I'll take all the help I can get. I love you. See you next Wednesday. Mwah! And I'm out.